Hey everybody, welcome to another DW Plays video, or potentially a Let's Play, depending on if I manage to survive past the first floor of this, but we'll see. This is Dungeons of Dredmor. It is a roguelike, one of the very, very few that I actually enjoy, and I really just needed a break from crappy and mediocre games, so the only games I know that are actually good are ones that I've played myself and have been able to determine they're good. So, I was looking through my game library and was like, well, what haven't I messed around with in a while? And Dungeons of Dredmor just kind of spoke to me. So, I went ahead and reinstalled it. And I don't have any mods active right now. It does have Steam Workshop support, and there are quite a few mods available for it. And of course, you can mod it yourself if you like. So that's nice. But I don't have any mods installed right now, just the base game along with all three of its expansion packs, Realm of the Diggle Gods, Conquest of the Wizardlands, and You Have to Name the Expansion Pack, which I have, of course, renamed to Reject Modernity, Embrace Dread, because modernity is it's a real problem with the industry right now. Anyway, we're just going to mess around with this. I thought it would be fun to do kind of a live commentary of just messing around with this, see how far we can get, and we'll just get things moving here. Now, this is one of the roguelikes that is very accessible compared to most of the genre. It's generally not a very accessible genre at all. It's very difficult to get into. There's a lot you have to wrap your head around, and they're pretty punishingly difficult. Now, this game does include some difficulty settings. If I wanted to put this on easy mode, then I could. And of course there's the medium, and we're going to put it on Going Rogue because losing is fun, which is the hard difficulty setting, because it's mostly because it's more fun for the viewers if the player is suffering. And you can turn permadeath on and off if you want. I have permadeath enabled right now. But if you're, say, new to the genre and you just want to mess around with it and give it a try, then you can disable permadeath and just keep messing around with it, learn the mechanics more. Like I said, it's much more accessible than most other roguelikes out there. And then, of course, you can set the dungeon size to be smaller if you want, and we're going to do that for the sake of brevity here. Because the dungeon floors can get pretty large, which is not really a problem if you're just playing it by yourself, but if you're doing it in a live stream or live commentary video format, then that can get pretty rough. So we're just going to do the smaller floors here. And now we come to the skill selection. Now, as you can see, there are quite a few skills. Now, these give you a skill tree of 5 skills that you can gradually learn as you continue to level up. And there are 3 that I always slot, which are Alchemy, Smithing, and Tinkering. These are your 3 crafting skills. Very useful. And then you just pick whatever weapon you want to use. I like using swords. And then you can pick from there. Now, I like using this one because it gives you extra critical blow damage and such. Very useful. And then from there, it's just a matter of filling out the rest of it with whatever we just feel like throwing around as the additional skill slots. I have messed around with most of these, but some of them are fairly situational, like Wand Lore is, I mean, you have to be finding wands to really be able to use that, so I haven't really messed around with that one. There's Emomancy. There's Mathemagic. Flesh Smithing. Other men work in clay, steel, or wood. We call them squeamish. You can be a vampire. A lot of the ones up here are just pretty straightforward stuff. You know, swords, daggers, axes, dual wielding, unarmed combat, shield combat, berserker rage. Pretty straightforward stuff. Viking wizardry is a pretty useful one. The very first skill lets you add lightning damage. We are going to select astrology. When they ask where you're born, you put down Saturn. And then we're going to also select, let's see here. Let's do, I haven't really messed around much with Demonologist. I have tried Clockwork Knight and Rogue Scientist. Clockwork Knight requires you to kind of build up to it, though, which is a bit annoying. Let's just do Magical Law. We can basically be Phoenix Wright, but magic and stuff. When crimes are committed by wizards, only wizards can bring them to magical justice. I would assume it gives you some anti-magic abilities, but we'll see. Let's do... You can do male or female hero there. As you can see, they have massive eyebrows. We're gonna do... Let's see, what would be a good one? And we can just do the one that was on the nose. We said we're from Saturn, do Saturnax. Why not? In ages long past, great heroes bound the Dark Lord Dredmor in the depths of the earth, that his evil would trouble the land nevermore. Alas, the foul Lich Dredmor proved most devious and patient, for he has been loosening his magical bonds, slowly freeing himself to again spread his evil in the world of light. He must be stopped. Again! Once more it is a time of adventure, of glory. It is the time for a hero. Unfortunately, this hero is you. You have been summoned by the king to prove yourself, to save the land and its people, to join the heroes of legend in victory over the Dungeons of Dredmor. We're just going to go ahead and get things started here. Now I'm going to walk down here because this room is always empty of enemies, and it's always shaped like this right from the beginning, but down here is where things change up. But this is only on the very first floor when you start the dungeon out. But anyway, from here, everything else is going to be just whatever we encounter, because roguelike, a lot of random generation. So we have discovered the Kelpish Fortress. Every single area you go in is named differently. We have our character sheet here. Unfortunately, I cannot make this larger. I would much prefer to be able to do that, but unfortunately I cannot. We start with gear based on what our skills were. So since we selected sword, we start with a wooden sword. It's alarmingly undeadly. Can't I find anything better? Well, we'll see. We have an astrologer's hat from being an astrologer, and we have a robe, I believe also from being an astrologer. And then if we go in our inventory here, I can expand the size of this so you can see things better. I'll, of course, have it down here in the bottom left as we're just messing around with stuff, because having the inventory open at all times is useful. But you can see we have our various items here. So we have some, as the game refers to them, reagents. These are crafting materials. So we have some gold ingots, we have some spring-loaded power cores, we have a chunk of malachite, and we have some copper wires. And then we have all of our various tools here. So this one and this one are used mainly for alchemy. This one is used for a bunch of different things. This is used for tinkering, and then these two are mainly used for smithing. We'll take a look more at the crafting interface later. And I meant to move that back down over here so that it's open all the time. Having this open all the time is useful too. We have our various stats over here. I'm not going to worry too much about these because this is a roguelike, and so these stats are going to vary wildly depending on what kinds of items we find. I wouldn't worry about it too much if you're getting into this thing. If you want to delve deep into the stats, you certainly can, but unlike other roguelikes where you're kind of incentivized more for doing that, this one doesn't really concern itself. You get your stats, you level up over time, you don't put any points into these. A lot of it just depends on what kind of gear you have equipped and what skills you learn. It's pretty straightforward, quite accessible. Alright, so we have some gnarled clubs here. They're not very useful to us, but we might find a use for them later. We have our drink vendor, we have our food vendor. The food vendor is labeled feed. And both of these doors are locked, so you can kick the door, and you have a chance of breaking the door down. So we go in here, we have an anvil of Krong instead of anvil of Crom. But we're not going to use that yet. That allows you to potentially enchant your equipment. So we open this up. We first discovered the pelagic den of wills. Now we have discovered the violent crack of mechanisms. So these are breakable containers, and I'm just going to show you a quick, easy trick here to make your experience in the dungeon a bit smoother. So if you're standing in one of the four cardinal directions to whatever it is, you go through the animation of swinging at the container. But if you're in diagonal, it just breaks it. Same exact result, but just without the animation. So if you want things to move a little quicker, you can just do that. This is a trap, a hidden trap here. It'll tell you what it is if you step up close to it, but you can disable it, or at least attempt to disable it. We only have a 35% chance of success right now, so we're not going to do that. And I just stumbled onto another one, which, with these traps, you can see the thing on the wall there. Pretty easy to determine where the trigger plate's going to be. Whenever you disarm a trap, you get some experience. It's an anti-magic field spewer, not really a particularly nasty one. Chest is locked, bash it open. Sure, why not? Alright, that is an Amazonian bumblebee person. Contrary to popular belief, not all of the Amazonian bumblebee people are women. It's just that the male bee people are also exceedingly pretty with very long hair. And that one happens to be asleep right now. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to, since this is a roguelike, everything's turn-based. You don't need to worry about things interrupting you. So we're going to look at our skills here. This is just a passive bonus. We don't need to worry about that. Or the alchemy, smithing, or tinkering here. This one, though, this allows you to stun enemies. It's just kind of a random chance to trigger. And then this, cast on items far away to shove them in your inventory. Nothing exceeds the reach of the law. That could be quite useful. And then this one is our other main active ability right now, Radiant Aura. It surrounds us with a halo of light which illuminates the darkness and our inner strength. Those who dare attack us are occasionally met with a blinding flash which stuns. It can only absorb a few hits before the aura is dissipated. This will give us some damage bonuses, and it will also, whenever enemies attack us with that currently active, it will create a blinding flash. So you can see it gives you a bunch of bonuses there. So we're going to activate that, and we're going to clobber the crap out of this Amazonian bumblebee person. You can see it, the aura affecting there. This tells you how many hits it can take before the aura is dissipated. Otherwise, you might have a turn counter there. This will send us somewhere else on the floor. This had a piece of cheese in it. Useful. Our health is already critical. Okay, that's a problem. So we need to eat some food to replenish our health. And, okay, already dead. That went pretty poorly. Saturn Axe the Adventurer, he minced like a cabinet. Gilderma Spell Mine on level 1, score 160. You know what? Just because that was, I was still trying to explain how the game worked, let's just go ahead and, let's try that again. And we'll just go ahead and use the same build, I think. Let's see here. Swords and Magical Law. Because like I said, I was basically trying to explain Saturn Axe the Second. I was still trying to explain how the game worked there, so I was a bit distracted. Alright, so as you can see, the layout has changed a bit. Just put on this adventuring pants here. It's not clear if these pants have ever been washed. That's pretty gross. Alright, we have some lockpicks here. We're going to go ahead and grab those. And in fact, I'm going to go ahead and activate the aura because it uses mana, but it doesn't have an upkeep, and it just goes until it's dispelled. Alright, this is a statue of Consequentia. She is the goddess of side quests. So we must use the item Mastweki the Mid-Afternoon's Legs on the Mellow Shrine. Only then can Lord Dredmor's servant Sapraka, the Mockery of Fates, be summoned and defeated. Sure, why not? We have Mastweki the Mid-Afternoon's Legs. Ow, I just stepped on another trap. I'm really bad about that. And already, health is low. That's a bit of an issue. Just gonna eat this cheese here. Okay, we found another piece of cheese. We found a voltaic potion. And the enemies will occasionally talk to you. Normally they'll say things like they hate you, or they'll try to taunt you with usually quite silly taunts. So we'll take a look at some of these items here in just a moment. Okay, there's a Diggle. Diggles are kind of the mascot of Dungeons of Dredmor. It is a strange little bird thing that tunnels through walls with its odd rubbery nasal appliance. And we just leveled up. It's dangerous to go alone. Take this. Leveling up replenishes your health and your mana, which is very useful. We are going to learn Lichtenauer's Overhowl, which is similar to the Blackjack ability where it will just randomly stun things. Lichtenauer's Overhowl will randomly trigger and do a bunch of damage. Bookshelves will teach you either encrustments, as this one is, defensive curds, or crafting recipes. Very useful. There's a chest here. It's hard to see because it's behind stuff, but alright. Just clobber the Diggle there. Grab an egg. You can use that to craft some omelets and other things. Now we have a Sword of Glass. This is just a shard of glass awkwardly wrapped up in some string. Don't drop it. So let's see. That subtracts to accuracy, I believe. Enemy dodge reduction. Yeah. And this is a crude blade trap. We're just going to disable that. We're going to pull this lever. Oh no, traps have activated. That's a problem. Alright, let's go ahead and eat this cheese here and replenish our health. Now, that is something to keep in mind as well. You gain 1 life point every 13 rounds. You also, whenever you eat food to replenish your health, it's on a counter. So you need to pass in-game turns by either moving around or just pressing the spacebar to wait. Only a 40% chance of success. We're going to clobber this baddie here. Let's see what we got here. Clockwork Bolt Thrower. Not exactly all that helpful to us, but neat. Gaga's Glaze. We apply a bunch of meat. Coat your armor with delicious meat, preventing the nasty monsters from biting down into the more important meats. Recognizing, of course, that Stirback did it first. And then a Clockwork Power Limb. Okay, that's a bit concerning. I'm going to go ahead and re-up this aura here. We have ways of making you talk. This is Siegfried. Trapped in Diggle form, he wanders the dungeons looking for revenge. Well, we're about to clobber him. There was Lichtenauer's Overhowl. Triggering. Very useful. Alright, let's see what this one gives us. A Heroic Bronze Aspis. It's a type of shield. This is Lutefisk. Lutefisk is a running gag in Dungeons of Dredmor. So, what is Lutefisk? Well, it is a traditional Norwegian fish product. It was invented by the Vikings as an easier way of instilling fear in their enemies than raiding and pillaging. It is traditionally inflicted upon young Norwegians by their grandparents, and is described by one famous author as the world's largest chunk of phlegm. For those of you who don't know what lutefisk actually is, it's basically fermented fish, and it is thoroughly disgusting. Anyway, let's see here. Oh, we got another Anvil of Krong here. Okay, these levers are teleportation levers. We will mess around with that later. Let's see what we got over here. Oh, we got some Pilsner. Do I have any? I don't have any traps I can throw down. Yep, I don't have a crossbow, so I can't launch those. Ingeniously scythed plastic bolts. Who would make such things? The conscript pleaded, his life draining from horrible wounds. The dwarves, replied the watch captain. Those bastards. Oh, man. Go ahead and re-up this. Let's see here. You know, sickly diggles are actually fairly nasty when you're low level. Especially when you have limited health. I'm going to go ahead and drink this voltaic potion, which infuses us with voltaic power for 90 turns. Allows us to do lightning damage. And we leveled up. Alright, let's go ahead and bump up. Using powerful legalese and obtain an injunction against a monster for transformation plus damages. That sounds interesting, but we're actually going to bump up our distillistry first. We're going to disable that boulder drop plate. A bolt of mass destruction. You are become death, destroyer of dungeons. Okay, disable that arrow trap. I pull the lever. I don't know what it does. Here's a statue of Dredmor, and we can break these to get a large amount of experience, and the game will tell us that it is heroic vandalism. Because, you know, Dredmor is evil and all that. Chalk scrawl. What does being fair have to do with anything? Ow. I'm really bad about just stumbling into these traps when I should be more careful, but oh well. Ow. I have discovered the Fungoid Arcade. I can't remember what Haywire actually does in this game. Oh, so let's try this confiscate evidence. We have now picked up Acleophro, the bringer of codfishes. It's a shield. Oh, we got some sliced bread, which is apparently the best thing since itself. Now, we can actually craft a few things here. So if I were to combine this sliced bread with some cheese, I can make a grilled cheese sandwich. So I'm going to do exactly that. That will heal us for 40 overtime, which is very nice. So we do have some plastic ore that we can turn into a plastic ingot. We also have some bauxite, which we can turn into aluminum. Quite useful. We can powder the aluminum if we want. Alright. Let's see. Fear the large eyebrowed one. It brings strange diseases. Fight the last. Let's go ahead and activate our aura here. A common cave raven. It said they like to rap at doors, but you're skeptical this one could manage a decent rhythm. Alright, we got a critical on that, and a stun there, the blackjack maneuver, which is incredibly useful. A potion of lively regeneration, very nice. Go ahead and keep on rolling along here. Native gold. You hear the sounds of machinery. This will displace us. It will teleport us somewhere else on this floor of the dungeon. Let's see here, Gaga's Glaze. I think we already picked that up, didn't we? Or did we pick that up last time? I don't know. Whatever. Potion of Dire Empowerment. Ow! That was a lot of damage. Let's go ahead and eat this cheese here and move away while we replenish our health. There we go. That's more like it. Okay, we've disabled those rusty caltrons, so we found some diggle eggs. Now we should have enough eggs to create a deep omelet. Born of the bowels of the earth, this omelet quivers chthonically at you. Let's see here. In fact, we are going to craft one of those for later. Just in case. Ah! Okay, break that on them, and then... Shoo! Shoo! Okay, that is the Mellow Shrine. I think... Let's see, I don't know if this is... Wait, did I accept a quest? Yeah, I did. Okay. By using Mistweki, the mid-afternoon's legs on the Mellow Shrine and defeat it. Okay. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and eat the grilled cheese here. Yeah. Alright. We'll take a look at some of these items here in a minute. First, I'm gonna disable these traps. Grab that plum. Alright, we have unlocked the crafting recipe for the Mace of Windu. Let's see. The Mellow Shrine makes you want to like chill out and stuff. Okay, that's enough of that. Oh, we got some cheese there that we can eat to replenish our health. We have Canliu, the crab-like fruit. It's a belt. Go ahead and equip that. The guards come running. It's a diggle. Just clobber the crap out of him. That's a lot of diggles. And we leveled up. Our princess is in another castle. Unfortunate. Let us go ahead and... I'm going to use Solar Inscription. I'm going to just pop that down right there. You Inwa! Okay, re-up our aura here. And pop down a Solar Inscription, because it's silly. You festering poltroon! I have defeated the commander of Lord Dredmor's 5th cohort, the Algebraic Legs. The remainder flee in fear. Alright. I'd say that was pretty successful. Found some saltpeter, alright. Let's see where this goes. Oil of vitriol and an iron dirk, and unfortunately that's a dagger, so that's not really all that helpful to us. It is a bat. It is no longer a bat. Let's see, that is an anti-magic field. Just go ahead and walk that off here. What is this, a rusty caltrop eruptor? Yep, you can disable that. Where's the... there it is. Okay. A gnome? No longer. The Acid Spitter. An Asgardian Storm Hammer. The Fruitful Staff. Alright. Find where this trap is. There we go. There we go. Let's see, I do have softballs I can chuck at them. By the way, that is an evil magic potato. It is a giant floating root-flapping eye-encrusted demonic potato. The horror! And now it is no more. A refurbished staff. Alright. Not really all that useful to us. Let's see here. A peasantly pitchfork. This is a lutefisk statue. Lutefisk for the Lutefisk god. You can tithe Lutefisk, and that is exactly what we're going to do. We have tithed 9 pieces of Lutefisk. Yep, so this astrology power or skill tree is quite useful. And that's the thing about the skills in this game. There's not really anything that's bad. Everything is useful somehow. It may be very situational, but it's all usable somehow. Alright, what am I missing here? What haven't I explored yet? Let's see here. There's a few more teleporters. Oh, there's some Zorkmids there. That is the currency. Let's see, that just leads over here. That leads back there. That just leads around in a circle. Okay. That's fine. Ow. That did quite a bit of damage. Let's see, do I have any useful food? I mean, I have that deep omelet, but I'd rather save that. Just eat this fresh steak, I suppose. Disable that arrow trap. Oh, we got a reagent. Another stem bolt. Okay. Oh, we got a grilled steak. Very useful. What is this? Nukinu, the Death of Coffees. Ah, it is a... now I can actually show you the crafting system. So if you combine the wooden sword with... This is technically a crude stone axe. But if you combine those, then you can get a better weapon. So let me find it here. So wooden sword and a crude stone axe gives you the Makwahit. I don't know how to pronounce that, honestly. It's Aztec. I don't speak Aztec. But we combine that, and now we have a much better weapon than the crappy sword we just have been, or crappy wooden sword we've been using. There's another Lutefisk statue. Move this back over here. And let's see here, we can't open that. Now we need to use this on the Mellow Shrine, which has summoned Sapracha, the Mockery of Fates. A clone! It's not a very good resemblance. It's all goopy and the eyebrows are too small. Okay. And we're just gonna chuck some softballs at it. Why not? We're not doing a whole lot of damage here. But, now we can drink a Pilsner there. Oh, we just got clobbered by a clone. Okay. We have been defeated by Sapracha, the Mockery of Fates. He stumped like a dwarf. But hey, it was considerably better scored than last time. Well, there you go, folks. That's Dungeons of Dredmor. It's a very silly roguelike. As you can see here, I've made it considerably further in previous runs there. One of them was Lutefisk Man, but the rest of them are usually just DWT. That was mainly from when I was putting it together to review it. Anyway, that's Dungeons of Dredmor. If you're interested, I'll throw a link in the video description box where you can pick the game up yourself. If you want to see me do more of this game or other games like it, then feel free to let me know in the comments. Otherwise, thank you all very much for watching, and I will see you all in later videos.